Oh crap, this is out on Steam now. Oh, that's fantastic news.
So welcome, my grandchildren. Come gather round and let your Granny Spyro tell you a dark and twisted tale as we enter the underground world of Albino Lullaby, a place ruled by your beloved Granny, where you're all good little boys and girls, and know that any misbehaviour will be met with only the most severest of punishments.
And no, as much as I'm sure you would all like me to keep the creepy old granny voice, I can't hold that up for 20-ish minutes. But let's not waste any time and jump into Albino Lullaby. Now, I will say, I did get an early access of this a while back when it came out, not on Steam, but on the Indie, what's the website? Indie Box Stand, and I did a Let's Look out of it. So, I would recommend going and having a look at that so that you can see what has changed. And, well, there's quite a few things that have been changed. Not in terms of the core gameplay, but in terms of placeholders now replaced with their final assets. Watched it? Okay, let's dive into Albino Lullaby. So, first off, the story. It's great, and that's all I'm going to say about it. No, really. This is something you have to trust me on, as to spoil any part of this story, bar the little bit at the beginning, is to do a disservice to the creators, as you start off watching some strange happenings to a house, after which you book it out of there into your car, only to end up in a car accident and awaken in a cage. After escaping, you find yourself in an underground facility, and scattered throughout are notes, pieces of paper, and signs that build up the world around you, and of course, the story and the twist that is going to unfold. So, I'll leave it up to you to find and read the notes. Which moves us on to one of the most eye-catching things about Albino Lullaby, the graphics. These have to be some of the most interesting, mind-bending and unique graphics I've ever seen in a game, as they're garbage. Absolute trash. But hold on, before you rush to the comments to say they're not, this is where the genius comes in, as, yes, they are. They're horrible. If you get too close to anything, you can see that it's not even fully coloured in. Everything, every plant, every door, all looks like the texture was hastily scribbled on with a marker. But because of the fantastic lighting they have used via the Unreal Engine, from far away, everything looks really shiny and, well, real. And in a way, I almost think it's there to mess with your mind. Everything looks real, but on closer examination, everything looks like it was drawn by a 4-year-old. Maybe it was, and we're all just dolls running around in this house. Or maybe something more. And I don't know what else to say about the graphics. They're just so unique and mind-bending, and when combined with the unreal lighting when you're outside the house, you get these breathtaking, really beautiful looking shots of the whole precipice town, and it goes a long way to build the atmosphere of this world. So, you have a great story and a great atmosphere, but this is all mute if the two other key components fail, the first of which are the bad guys. And do they feel like a threat? Yes, they do. Much like Amnesia, you can't attack, and most of the game is spent crouching down and stealthing around them. And once you know how good they are at spotting you, and how ravenous, yes, go with that, they can be once they do spot you, every sneak around their moment comes with held breath, hoping and praying that you won't activate them. And it makes for some really intense shit, as if they do see you, not only will they not stop hunting you down, but all others in the area will also know and will be coming after you, making for some really intense moments when you have to perform sharp turns as one has just come out the door in front of you. So you have to hard right over the side of a balcony onto a lower level, and because of these adrenaline rushes combined with the music, you do feel genuine tension or fear, which very few horror games can claim to have nowadays.
Well, Spyro, nowadays most horror games are shitty FNAF clones filled to the brim with something screaming at you over and over and annoying the hell out of you.
True, but there is none of that here. This is much like Alien Isolation, where it's you and the alien, something you're trying to hide from, with genuine moments of tension when it's sniffing around your locker you're hiding in, and you're just like, please turn around, please go away. And genuine moments of fear when it spots you and you're running for your life because you don't want a new stomach vagina, courtesy of the Xenomorph's tail. So, Spyro, throughout that talk about the big bads, you didn't show them. You're not going to show them. Okay, I'll be honest here. I was debating this for a while. I did not show them off in my original Let's Look At of this game because it was new and I wanted it to be a surprise. Now, a lot of people might know what they are, but I'm not going to show them off here either, as I feel that if I did, I will have ruined the reveal for you. You see, I see this game much like the Stanley Parable. That is, if you watched the Stanley Parable before playing it, then you have ruined it for yourself, because you know everything that's going to happen, and the moments that are supposed to grip you now hold no impact. And like the story of this game, the monsters are the same. The new and improved reveal is one of the moments that have weight, and if you knew what they looked like, then the reveal loses a lot of that weight and impact. So I really do suggest you go and play this game first before looking at a Let's Play of it, as it's one of these things you have to experience first. You really need to play it first and get immersed in this dark, twisted world so that you have every surprise nice and fresh and unspoiled. Then you can go look it up on YouTube and see how everybody else has done it. And last but not least, the music. Oh man, the music, it's perfect. This is one of those where you can tell the music has been made after the art, allowing the musicians to look at the place they need to make music for and make creepy, unsettling tracks to fit that area of the world. And to sound completely redundant, each track is creepy and unsettling, no matter where you are in the world. The music always makes you feel uncomfortable. Like, even though there is nothing around, you still feel like you're being watched and you're not safe. I mean, even the light-hearted ones like the Halfway Waltz. Something is just off about it, like the rest of the world you find yourself in, finishing off this perfect atmosphere of creepy uneasiness. Now, we would move on to the final verdict, but there is still one last thing to bring up. Albino Lullaby Episode 1. Yes, much like a series like The Walking Dead, this is an episodic game where basically it's one big game split into 3 smaller parts. Still decent length parts, like 20-ish hours each if you're going to explore everything and find every single note and run through the games multiple times to see if there was anything you missed or record it for YouTube. But I see something on their Steam store page there that does concern me. And let's call it what it is, Ape Law. It's a season pass. Ooh, something I and a lot of other gamers hate. So you can either pay £7 for episode 1 right now, or £18 to pre-order all 3, which is basically what it is. It's a pre-order. Pay 18 English pounds now, for the bundle, and you will get episode 1 right now, and episode 2 and 3 the second they come out. And for your first ever game, especially your first ever game on Steam, that's ballsy indeed. You're asking customers to give you money for something that might not even come out. You are asking for trust. A lot of trust. Yet you have done nothing to earn that trust. Now, of course, this is a slight exaggeration, as Ape Law were very kind enough to give me the early access file for the Let's Look At, and even a review code for this Steam version, making it free for me. So I know that you are legit, and I trust you wholeheartedly, but as a critic, I do have to point out anything I see as a bad idea, gimmick, or poor business move, and so on. And to ask for pre-order money on your first ever Steam game, in my eyes, is not your best idea. That being said, in my eyes, from not only all you have done for a small channel like mine, but other critics and consumers of your product, I can say with certainty to you, the viewers, that if you are interested in this game and in all 3, then yes, you can trust Ape Law if you're wanting to buy the £18 bundle and wait for episode 2 and 3 to come out, as I know that they will finish episode 2 and 3 to schedule and get them out on time, unlike Gabe. Still waiting for the ETA on Half-Life 3 there, Gabe. Taking a while with this final chapter. So, with that being said, now let's move on to the final verdict. So, my final verdict for this game is a stunning 4 out of 5. This game is well made, well paced, and goes back to the roots of first-person survival horror. But the biggest praise for this game, considering the genre that you were going for, is that you put effort in. Real, honest-to-God effort. It's so refreshing to see a horror game not only done right, but done well. Even more so, look at this! I'm actually walking around the spooky house! Actually walking! Oh, whoa, slow down there, cowboy. That's a big step, don't you think? I know, right? I've been a fan of horror for a long time with Silent Hill 2 and the Alien Isolation, and for a while I thought it was the end of this genre on Steam, what with all the countless clones, Five Nights at Mickey's, Five Nights at Candy's, One Night at Flumpty's, Six Nights at Susie's, Five Nights at Wario's, Five Nights at Pikachu's, Five Nights in Anime, and the list goes on. And all the mountains upon mountains of asset flipping shit, like the Slaughtering Grounds, Uncrowded, Daylight Survival Begins, Black Shadows, and the millions of other asset flipped first person survival horror games now on Steam with zombies in. Just a mess of assets thrown into maps with no rhyme or reason and no artistic cohesion. Then this game comes out on Steam. This beautifully well-crafted first-person horror game, with effort put in. It was like a breath of fresh air to see a creative horror game finally show up in the oceans of garbage that has washed up from Greenlight. A horror game that does not take itself too seriously, as damn, some of the writing is really hilarious, and whoever was doing the voice of the priest shouting at the top of their lungs to find and catch me, sounds like he was really having a great time. And if you're open for voices in episode 2 and 3, I want to voice one of them monsters, because if them shouting guys were not hamming it up and having fun with it. And that's why both this game and Spooky stand out as the best horror games on Steam, and earn that highly respectable score for putting effort in and trying to be nice and funny, yet scary, a breath of fresh air. Great work, guys. And I can't wait for episode 2. Also, I was, like, being serious about the recording a line for one of the monsters thing.